Crafted comedy
by Great Wolf.
It's the talk of people in the know. Welcome to the G-Block Show.
This is part 3 of a 4-part series. Very Suly joins the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, the G-Block Show.
You sit down for like a split second, the guy opens up your mouth and looks in it. I mean, just about like, looks like he's going to break the guy's jaws. Like, just pull the jaw. And they go, God, get out of here. God, another guy. And then every now and then they're like, cavities. You know, he's got a cavity. Throw him in the, kick his butt. So you get through the dentistry part of it. Then they take you, and of course, and then they take you and they cut your hair. I think that's the next thing that happens. It's just so funny because I've never been much of a hair guy, and you can tell by looking at me now. I had more hair, of course, at one point, but I was never at the top of the line with the hair. We had a couple guys from Hawaii that had just said, they had the hair. And there's people there, like I said, a lot of them almost look like what people used to refer to as hippies. I mean, they had a lot of hair, pretty long. Okay, everybody gets their hair cut, and I'll be damned, it's like, I don't even recognize. They look a lot different. I probably look like a badass, so let's just say it. Get a little more respect now. Anyway, I'll get back to respect here in just a minute. But anyway, so then, the next thing is all of this is just like ridiculously fast and ridiculously just ridiculous. You got to get your underwear. And what size underwear you wear? Well, so I told them what size underwear. It's like, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, these are way too big. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, great. This is, I don't know what happened there, but the underwear was, the underwear I got it seemed like it was for somebody almost double my size. But hey, this isn't like you're going out Tiffany's. You just get what they give you. They just shove it in. Blah, 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 blah. Same thing with the boots. The same thing with the fatigues, which I always make fun of. It was like, oh yeah, military pushes people so hard, even their clothes get tired. Yeah. Oh yeah. So anyway, the next thing we're going to this place, this commissary. Now we've got this other guy who's known as a TI, training instructor. And compared to our drill instructor, he's a great guy. I mean, our drill instructor, it just seems like a normal guy. Very, very similar to Sergeant Carter and Gomer Pyle. But this guy, this TI, this guy, and both of them, by the way, are black. I don't know if it's okay if I say that. Just sue me if it's not. But this TI training instructor, he's like a damn Doberman. I mean, this guy is, I'm thinking, really, I think we could all go home. I don't think if the enemy ever encounters this guy, he just seems like he could be single-handedly just taken. And I don't mean I'm not trying to say it's like he's buff or anything like that. Now, the guy was in terrific shape. I mean, you could tell, but I mean, he wasn't like Rambo looking guy. But his whole demeanor was, all I can say is he just screamed without saying a word. He was just screaming, "You don't ever want to mess with me. You do not." It was just like, I've seen some people, I go back to even some people I knew in the mafia and stuff. This whole thing with this persona of, you don't want to mess with me. Well, this guy was like, I've never seen anything quite like it. Anyway, go in there. We go into the compound to get some shaving cream, some razors, into this base exchange. And so we come out, and it's pretty hot. It's outside by now. It's getting into the day, like about 10:30, 11 o'clock, getting warm. I'm starting to get really thirsty. Of course, I'm still hungover, but I haven't had really enough of anything. I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting for certain at this point. And so I'm standing out there in line, and I see this water fountain. And the water fountain's maybe about 15, 20 feet from where the TI is standing. And I'm talking to some other people in what they call a flight, my group. They call that a flight, by the way. so appropriate for being in the Air Force. I don't know what they call them in the other branches, but I was in a flight, and with a couple other flight members, I said, I'm really thirsty. I think I'm going to go get some water. Oh, no. They said, oh, you don't want to do that. Well, I said, why not? And we were just standing here. And they said, yeah, but, unless you've got permission. And I said, are you serious? You really think I'm going to need permission just to go get some water when all we're doing is hanging out here? Yeah, that's what they said. They said, yeah, pretty sure. You're going to get in trouble. And I said, oh, for crying out. Seriously, you boys take this all too serious. And they're like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I swear I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were you. I would not do it. And I said, well, that's fine. I appreciate that, but this is I'm not. It's not like I'm going to it's not like I'm trying to commit a crime here. I need to get some water. I think I have a right to it. In fact, if this ever really goes down into Geneva Convention type stuff or whatever, I think I am entitled to get water when I am so thirsty. In fact, if I were you guys, I would follow me. Aren't you thirsty? Oh yeah, well we're thirsty. Yeah. Well, come on. This is not like we're trying to steal a Jeep or something. You're like, I wouldn't do it. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I'm done talking. I'm going to start walking. So I go right over there to the water fountain, and I go, and I'm drinking water. All of a sudden, this TI comes upon me. I mean, he's right on me. And he's like yelling. He yells at me like, soldier, who told you blah, 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 blah. And I said, I'm just getting a drink of water. Who told you blah, 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 that you could get a drink of water? And so I just kind of stand up, folded my arms, like what do you mean? He just rears at me. He just comes like right at my face. He says, you're lucky I didn't just drop you right now. And I'm like, I'm like, well, come on. I'm like, He says, how dare you fold your arms to me? He says, are you challenging my authority? And I dropped my arms. I said, no. I said, no, sir, I'm not. He says, you must be the tough guy back in your neighborhood. Yeah, I'm thinking, I was like, I don't know. I never really thought of it. I definitely, I'm thinking, like, maybe I am. I don't know if anybody has of late who's ever, wanted to take me on or anything, I said, yeah, but no, this is not what you think. This is kind of how I'm putting this. I just wanted a drink of water. And that's when he says, do you think you can take me on? And he says, if so, he says, let's do it right here. Like that, he's going all, it was like that one movie with that black sergeant with, the officer and a gentleman thing. Here again, this is before these came out, And so he's coming back like, come on, bring it, dude, bring it, come on. So I'm just thinking, my God, this is like the last person on earth I would ever want to get into anything with. I mean, there's a lot of people on this base that I would want nothing to do with in terms of a fight. But I don't think there's anyone who I do not want to have anything in terms of a fight more than this guy. It's like, no. I said, if you only knew, how much I did not mean to disrespect you, So he says, okay, get back in line. But he says, you ever do this again, we're gonna dance. And I'm like, oh, all right, fine. So I walk back over to my flight, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? You guys were right. He is very, very sensitive about people getting water. I never knew. He was already, did you see that? He wanted to fight me. He thought I was challenging his authority and stuff. I was just getting water. I mean, I'm just saying, we need to be careful around this guy. He is really sensitive. He just, body language and stuff. Don't be pulling your arms around this guy. He's temperamental. Yeah. So anyway, finally, we get to go to lunch. Well, we get to go to lunch, and you know the drill. Awesome food, only this time instead of it being breakfast food, it's lunch food, like you would get for lunch. Okay, cool. All right. So now we get the lunch food, and we do the whole thing, the whole 9 yards, and then it's 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Okay, that's a little more reasonable. That's more like it. And so we just do the same thing. Just shove as much food in our mouth as fast as we can. I don't know how this could possibly be sanctioned. I mean, Jesus, how many guys have choked doing this. This might have been before the Heimlich maneuver was discovered. But anyway, so we did our thing, and then we go out. Now they've given us this chain of command book, and we're supposed to memorize the chain of command all the way from the president all the way down to our drill sergeant. It's our Bible. And it's just a, any time that we're standing in line now, we're supposed to be reading this thing. It's like, fine, I won't step out of line, and I won't go get water, but damn it, I memorized the chain of command. Boy, they aren't letting any grass grow under us. So then we go from there into going out and doing what they call PT, physical fitness. And because of it being in the Air Force and being really cool about when it comes to that, they only made us do this for like about 7 or 8 minutes because it's so hot. We just did these little jumping jacks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is cool, because I know right now if I was in the Army, I would probably be running my tail off all afternoon. So, hey, it's not all bad. 15-second lunch. I mean, that's improvement. I'm wondering if it looks like maybe we're going to have 45 seconds for dinner. Really kick it up. Anyways, then we go into the classroom. Now we're in like a different mode. And we're learning about all kinds of things. And this particular one was where they told us, it may seem like you're in prison and stuff, but you're not. None of you guys are criminals yet. So, just realize, we yell at you, it's because we love you. And so the next thing we go back into our barracks. And in the barracks there, it's like, okay, get your suitcases out, and I'm going to be inspecting them. By the way, if we find so much as a marijuana seed, you're going to Leavenworth. We don't give a shit. And, whatever. So it's like, I'm sure glad I didn't bring any marijuana seeds, but I did bring vitamin C. Oh, well, this guy that's in charge of this, he's totally down on vitamins. He's like, if you have any vitamins, I need you to put all your vitamins out on the everything. We're confiscating it. And I was like, no, not going to happen, man. I love my vitamin C. And I don't think I brought any other vitamins with me, but I did bring a crud load of vitamin C. Just because I want to keep my immune system up so I can get through this. And I think vitamin C is really good for me. And I don't think it's illegal. And, there's nothing, I don't see what his problem is. So the same thing is coming through and inspecting it. So I actually stashed this big bottle of vitamin C under some things, and it's like, so do you have any vitamins? The same thing. They just yell everything, and it's like, no, sir. And before this, some of the guys in my flight said they saw it. It's like, man, you better get rid of that. You better, don't be hiding that. You're going to get, I said, if they're going to bust me for vitamin C, they're missing out on somebody's going to be a good pilot someday all over something that is actually good for you. And I'm not gonna, no, I've got to draw the line someplace. I'm already fine. I won't step out of line and I won't go get water, but damn it, I am not giving up my seat. So anyway, they come along, and so you put out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yep, everything's out, yep, nothing to see here. And they passed it. They were like, okay, good. So anyway, then we went out to dinner, and it was the same sort of thing. Up, down, you're supposed to wear this. No, I guess we're going to be wearing this other jacket. No, I guess we're going to be. So we play that game for about 4 or 5 times, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. Finally, we get to go to the chow hall. That's what they call it in the military, the chow hall. So anyways, we go there, and sure enough, same thing, rinse and repeat, but it's dinner. Looks just out of this world. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, oh my God. And now I'm hip. Now I'm totally like, I get it. These guys are nuts. I'm going to be lucky if I have 30 seconds to eat this. So I strategically planned it to where I'm going to get the food that's going to be something I can get in my gullet as quick as possible and without choking. I'm not going for the tacos. So anyway, sure enough. Same thing. Go stand at the table, yada, yada. So I think we had the 30 seconds. So compared to this morning, things are getting just downright pleasant. It's getting to be almost like fine dining. So then anyways, we go back to our barracks, and there's all kinds of good stuff for us to do there. So that's when they start talking to us about what they want for our shoes and socks and underwear in our beds. They said, well, up to now we've been really cutting you some slack because you've only been here for like 15 hours. But now we're starting to really expect something out of you. And so it turns out there's a certain way. Everything is attention to detail. That's the Air Force. I mean, this is important stuff. I mean, if nothing's going to stop the U.S. Air Force, I do think attention to detail is important. So we start that with how you lace your shoes. Start from the ground up. Your shoes need to be laced a certain way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when your shoes are not on your feet, they need to have the laces just right, just in your shoes just right. And at the exact just right part of your cot. So then you have to have your socks just right. You get the idea. The underwear, now this is where it really gets tricky, is with your underwear. You have to fold it a certain way. And I do mean a certain way. It isn't just like, oh, you flip this over and you fold this in and you fold that. No, it has to be precisely, it's just like to the T. Like you can't believe it. Seriously. You're just thinking to yourself, this can't be real. That they really mean to print this. No, this has to be exactly just right. After all, this is your underwear, and nothing gets closer to your private's private. And so you want that right, and then it goes on from there, you can imagine. And the same thing with the bed. Everything about the bed has to be exactly, precisely. There's a certain way to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I didn't grow up in a military family, so I wasn't like Jim Morrison, whose daddy, taught him how to make his bed so he could flip a quarter and make it bounce 3 feet in the air. But they did. Basic training, that's what they teach you. It's you get it so you can do the quarter bounce. By the way, with the bed, the whole situation, because they only give you like 10 seconds to make it in the morning. I already know that. Along with, I think, an awful lot of other guys, learned to get into bed very gingerly and to not move a muscle while you're in bed. We got to go to sleep that night at a reasonable time, like 10 o'clock, and we were really ready for it. On top of it all, it's like, if I can get in this bed and I don't move, I won't mess up, so it's going to be a lot easier to get this going in the morning. And our drill instructor that evening, for the first evening, he was talking to us about, he's the less formidable guy, by the way, again. The drill instructor is kind of like, he's more like your buddy, but he's still been yelling his head off at us ever since we got there. But it takes a lot of work to do that. So you gotta respect somebody who is that committed. So anyways, he's talking to us, and he's like, so I just want to say to you guys, what we had been told earlier, that you're not in prison. Don't feel like you've done anything wrong. And when we yell at you and stuff, that's just what we got to do. And we're just all going to got to get through this and just kind of keep perspective. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like we're really being unreasonable, and we are, but it's nothing personal. It's just, this is how it's done. And then he talked about the divorce rate amongst drill instructors and how it's really a lot harder on them than it is on the new recruits. And then he was going to go home to his wife tonight, and he felt bad for us that that we weren't going to be able to have a woman, but at some point, not too far, once we finally get out of boot camp, we'll be able to be with girls again and stuff, and don't lose sight of that. Don't start looking at each other with funny eyes, okay? Yeah, every word of what I'm telling you is the truth. Yeah, we're kind of like, we got that. Yep, right. Nope, none of us are going to that. No. Oh, yeah. And by the way, we can put saltpeter in your water when you've been going to chow, and that should help kind of curb the drive, if you know what I mean. And for people who don't know what saltpeter is, that makes you so that you're not as horny as you would be ordinarily. So anyways, that's all good. So finally, we all get to shave and wrap up for the night, get our shoes laced just right, and get our socks just right, and our undies, and everything's just perfect. Okay, good. All right, gonna lay down. Oh, this is great. Finally get some sleep. I'm gonna try to make this next 7 hours feel like 14 if I can. So anyway, they've got these guys that do, they're called dorm guard. That's what they do. They're guarding the dorm. So that's why they call them that, dorm guards, which, by the way, you get to do after a couple weeks of being there. So these guys that are there just 2 weeks ago, they're coming through the dorm at night, that are walking. They walk the dorm. Those guys just 2 weeks ago were you. They were just in your spot. So it's not like these guys do this. They're like for a living, and they've been doing this for, these guys are new to this. And so you finally get to sleep. It's probably been a half hour. You're just starting to get into that REM sleep. They nudge you. Now, they're not yelling. This is nice. This is really very nice. Nudge you, wake you up. You're kind of like, what the fuck? What the hell? What the? They're like, I need to show you something. It's like, no, you don't. Please, I need to show you something. What could it be? What do you need to show me? I'm trying to sleep here. Okay, fine. What? Do you see look at your boot there. You see that? Your lace should be right here instead of right here. I mean, we're talking like just like this, like seriously, you're like, come on, really? No. Yeah, you just need to, next time, make sure your lace is half an inch further down. Yeah, okay, got it. All right, thank you. And so, all right, okay. Yeah, every detail, last detail, whatever. You start to go back to sleep. And about another half hour or so after that, they're not waking you up, but they're waking up the guy next to you. Hello, hey, wait, we got the flashlight. Just flashlight shine. You're like, oh, good. Well, it's not for me, but whatever. It's kind of whatever, irritating. Get back to sleep. And then about another 20 minutes later, they're coming nudging you again. And you're like, what? What is it? And now, at least, again, they're being very nice. They're not yelling. No yelling. It's all very quiet because you don't want to wake anybody. Gotta show you something. I'll show you. And so it's like, all right, fine. What is it? Does the lace, did I not, you're just livid at this point. Your underwear. It's my underwear. Yes, your underwear. And we need to refold this because you didn't, it's just, and it's like,
glad you're here. Please help us to continue bringing
this
you
part,
more crafted comedy videos by simply clicking the thumbs up icon and by subscribing to our channel.
Like, seriously,
and hit that bell to receive notifications each time we post a new video. We really appreciate your support because all we do, we do for you.
Starting to really get this attention to detail stuff. Starting to really, okay, this goes on all night long. Not just the first night, not just the first and second, it goes on, and it gets gradually better, of course, as you're getting better. But it's about 4 or 5 nights before this finally starts to get to where you're actually sleeping for 3 hours without interruption. Yeah, it is just nothing but good times. So the next morning comes, and it's the same thing, repeat, what we've been through the first day. But this time, our drill instructor has lost his voice. He has lost his voice, and so he is what they call hoarse.
We hope you're enjoying part 3 of a 4-part series. Very Suly joins the Air Force. You can listen to part 4 of the 4-part series. Very Suly joins the Air Force on the next episode of the G Block Show. We're glad you're here. Please help us to continue bringing you more crafted comedy videos by simply clicking the thumbs up icon and by subscribing to our channel. And hit that bell to receive notifications each time we post a new video. We really appreciate your support because all we do for you. Thank you.